Every franchise has a start, and for the Monsterverse, we go all the way back to 2014, the one that started it all in the sci-fi slash action series, and the one that saved the Godzilla franchise from its dark days. Godzilla 2014 was the first Monsterverse film to release. For to be expected, in my enjoyment of big monster movies, I really enjoyed this film, just like all the other Monsterverse installments. It's still only my third favourite in the Monsterverse, but I still thought it was beautifully made. There are a few problems that just hold it back from being higher on my rankings. And now I am going to explain it all. What made Godzilla 2014 great? And what holds it back from being perfect in the Monsterverse? Before we start this video, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoy it. And don't forget to subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon to see more content. Thank you, and enjoy. Let's start with the positives, starting with the storytelling. After watching Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, as well as many tie-in comic stories, it has become far more interesting. Godzilla in these movies maintains balance in nature, protecting his territory, which is our planet Earth, and only sees the humans as natural as any animal, and they get free protection if they don't get in his way. This is shown really well here, as Godzilla battles the Motos in San Francisco, then leaves peacefully without causing any further conflict. This is why I enjoy Godzilla in this universe. I love his character in the 2014 film and King of the Monsters. It just feels right. The characters are also really enjoyable, even if they get in the way of the action. But there are some shoutouts here, like Zirazawa, who is the best offender. Dr. Graham was also really great in this film, much like Zirazawa. Ford Brody was great to watch as the main human protagonist, and Elle Brody had some moments as well. Fun fact, these two are played by the same actors, Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson, who also played Wanda Maximoff and Pedro Maximoff respectively, who are siblings in the MCU. Just a nice little thing I found while watching this film. The acting was all great. Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen, like I said, have great chemistry with each other, helping deliver a great story for the Brody family. Ken Watanabe also absolutely kills it as Zirazawa here, as he nails the lines down in every scene. Following him is Sally Hawkins, who also delivers great chemistry with Watanabe. In general, all the actors deliver great chemistry for the characters they all portray. Bryan Cranston is also a shoutout here, even if his character's death was unnecessary. I also really love the music score by Alexandra Desplat. This is how a music score is done right, much like Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's exciting, intense, fits the scenes really well, the notes are done well, and never comes off as a generic background filler, unlike the last two Monsterverse films. I wish we get some great music in the next Monsterverse film, like 2014 and King of the Monsters. I miss when music in this series had depth. The CGI is easily the best in this movie, in the series, as it's done perfectly. I don't think I can say anything bad about it. The monsters move like giant monsters towering 100 meters. They have their scaling shown really well, and overall just gives off that great realistic vibe of Godzilla and big massive titans existing in real life. The budget was done really well here, as so as the monsters, and it's also again something I miss about the Monsterverse. Realism at its absolute best, whilst also showing how massive they are at close shots of them from bottom to top. These also come the great visual effects, having a great mix of red and black. The black tone sets the grounded nature of the Monsterverse. The black tone is what helped make the 1954 Godzilla film, and it does it again in this film, showing the suspense and dread that it has to offer. The scenery is awesome here, as there are some really great scenes to see here. Godzilla at the airport scene, the Golden Gate Bridge scene, the Halo jump sequence, Godzilla using his atomic breath in the film for the first time, and of course, the most iconic of them all, the Kiss of Death scene, where Godzilla fires his atomic breath in Fimoto's mouth, killing her. It shows that Gareth Edwards directs movies really well here. I also loved the ending of the film, as it gives off that great vibe of the world being saved by Godzilla. That's why they dubbed him King of the Monsters, Savior of our city, perfectly setting the future high with more stories in the Monsterverse. Lastly, this film would kickstart a franchise that would become very popular amongst many G fans, releasing lots more sequels and TV series. And we've got the success of Godzilla 2014 to thank here. Toho also got back in the game, making some of their own rebooted movies like Shin Godzilla, and eventually we would get a Kong Monsterverse film, taking great ideas from this film and having it be more of a Kong focused film rather than Godzilla, which helps create the Monsterverse into one big topic. This was the film that made me the Godzilla fan I am today, and that's why this film holds a special place in my heart. So now for the negatives. Some things I didn't like about the film is that one, it's dark. Very dark. You can't really see the monsters well, and the monsters themselves don't glow as often, which is why for a lot of the action are only slightly visible and hard to see, that come off as invisible due to how dark they all are. Thankfully, this was fixed in the sequels. Secondly, the pacing is really slow. It feels like it takes a while before we get some action with the monsters. The same actors appear for quite a while on screen, while not really focusing too much on the plot. Even for a 2-hour movie, there's a decent amount of filler, which for some viewers can be a bit boring to watch at times. There's also lot of cutaways between the action and human characters, a lot being very unnecessary as they just get in the way of the action. I just like big monster fights with no human conflict in the action. With the cutaways getting in the way, there's no appeal at all. That's why I consider the action in this film to be the worst of the series. Despite it still being really enjoyable to watch at times, the cutaways just ruin it. Human characters should only be important in the Monsterverse if they have depth, a great story, and appear a lot in the Monsterverse, with much to offer. This film unfortunately doesn't do that, which makes this subject to me rather dubious. Finally, you don't get to see the monsters a lot, especially Godzilla, who is the worst offender because he is the main title character of the film, and the trailers and teasers showed a lot of him, but he's barely used in the film. And even if it feels like his screen time is only minimal, he's stuck in the darkness of the film, which makes the situation even worse. Even Zilla in the 1998 film had more screen time than this. Thankfully, this was also fixed in the next Monsterverse films, promising more time on the big G. Overall, my final opinion on Godzilla 2014, it's a really great Monsterverse film. There's a lot to offer with realism, characters, story, plotlines, score, scaling, and themes. But the four big negatives I mentioned, involving cutaways, pacing, and darkness, drags it down a bit. I still really enjoyed this film, and in fact, if it weren't for the four negatives I mentioned above, this film would probably be my favourite in the series. Also, in my opinion, every single Monsterverse movie is enjoyable in its own right. What this film also has is that it was the first Godzilla film I ever watched, so it holds a special place in my heart, bringing me into the Godzilla franchise. If the Monsterverse continues to thrive in the future, I hope it brings back the tone and seriousness of this film, with a more Heisei-like-esque blended in, departing from its light-heartedness and goofiness. Let's wait and see what else this series has to offer for the big radioactive reptile. What is your opinion on Godzilla 2014? How does it rank to other Monsterverse installments? Do you agree with the goods and bads I said about it? And how would you write a Monsterverse film? Let me know in the comment section below, and also don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you are new, and hit that bell icon to see more content on my channel. Thanks for watching. Even if its human characters tends to anchor much of the thrills, Godzilla 2014 still offers plenty of realistic monster action and amazing scenery to make up for it.